Now, this is one part of it. What is the other container? We have query runtime comparison. So the graph at the bottom is addressing about query runtime comparison. Now what it is stating, if I execute a query on top of a traditional database, it is consuming 2660 seconds, whereas the same query when I'm executing on top of HANA, it is just consuming 5.1 seconds. Now, if you notice the previous slide and this slide, we are talking about two huge hallmarks of a database. One is data compression and the other one is query execution.
The query runtime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll understand it, how exactly system is doing it, what exactly the capabilities that HANA holds, and what we should understand from the development point of view in detail. By the way, I'm sorry to introduce myself. I just jumped into the session directly. Waiting for the other folks to join. Okay. Just now I recollected it. Right. Myself Sharath. Okay. I'm the facilitator for SAP HANA. And before starting up HANA, I was into the data warehousing world. Prior to 2011, I can say, I used to provide trainings for all the BW flavor, business objects, data services, pretty much into data warehousing side. And in the 2011, I shifted myself into SAP HANA, looking at the prospect of the future down the line for the next 7 years to 10 years at least, let's say. I can fill my pocket. Okay, I'm also a consultant or a freelancer who look after for something to be at the safer side. So I stopped all my other trainings. I was pretty much packed with SAP HANA trainings for the last 3.5 years, more than 3.5 years I can say. I ran both online and corporates, and offline it's pretty less I can say. Okay, so I trained till this point in time more than 450 folks, 450 plus students across the globe, and the objective and the strategy what I follow to be successful in a short span of time to run multiple batches. I ran weekdays. I'm running two batches. That's in the morning time itself for the folks from US, and weekends I run 2. Recently I completed one for. Usually I run 3. One is already done, which is majorly for folks from UK and Netherlands and France. So this is what my detailed brief point. Coming to the implementation side, I did now I can say 5th one is in my pocket. So 5 end-to-end implementations into areas of logistics, banking, okay, FMCG. And coming to the proof of concepts, there were close to 80 now. So recently I delivered 2 proof of concepts, one for one of my Singapore client as well as one to my US client. Okay, so this is overall brief outage of mine. So soon after this particular discussion, I'll let you know what is the strategy that I am going to follow for your batch. Not in specific, I've been doing it for the last, I can say, more than 2.5 years, especially for the HANA container. Okay, and in what way you will be succeeded with this particular strategy, you will understand it. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Hope I did. I introduced myself before I skipped off. Yeah, please.
Is that compulsory? We should know BI or BO before learning HANA?
Perfect, sir. Just give me some time. I'll clarify all your doubts. You'll understand it whether it is required or not.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a regular question people will be asking me, whether I need to know BW or business objects or any other tool before I learn SAP HANA. So
yeah, that is what which has confused me as well.
Exactly.
I know BI, but not completely BODS. So I was like, I don't know anything about it.
I'll tell you whether it is required or not. I'll tell you. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because people will come up, or when we talk to our colleagues or friends, they'll say like, no, you should not take this. You should know something about this before you get into this. All these questions, our courses will be given to us. So I'll tell you whether it is required or not. Great. I request all of you to go on a mute so that you can hear me better. Shankar,
Okay.
Ankita.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Now, coming to the next container of information, which talks about benefits of HANA. So the first section, it talks about empower your organization. Well, so in what way can we empower a particular organization? So the first point it talks about is real-time visibility to complete data for transaction and analytics processing. Now, the question is, what is meant by real-time visibility? So real-time visibility means the moment you post a transaction in any of your OLTP systems, let it be your SAP CRM system or ECC or HCM or APO, whatever it is, the moment you post a transaction, immediately it gets refreshed into your reporting layer. So that is what real-time visibility is. Now if you consider whatever the data warehousing solutions we have in the market, whether it is SAP BW or a data stage or a Teradata, so we know all of them are batch load process, in the sense like whatever the data I have today, I'll make users to analyze this data only by tomorrow. Right? Every day night, I'll be pulling the data from these transaction systems into my data warehousing system and generate some reports on top of it and provide further user analysis. But with respect to HANA, what we are doing, HANA has delivered a powerful solution here. Okay, so what it is, you need not wait for one day to analyze the data, because when you talk about the data warehousing solution, we say data is a real-time data or near real-time data, but we can understand it is not a real-time data, it is just a near real-time data, right? With respect to data warehousing solution, today's data I'll be analyzing tomorrow, but with HANA, I have a real-time visibility, means the moment you post a transaction, immediately I can analyze the data in my reporting layer. Now it also says complete data for transaction and analytics processing. Now you better aware that all your data warehousing solutions are represents the data of your summarized view set, right or no? It represents an aggregated result set for you to analyze, or for the user to analyze on top of your data warehousing solution. Now what HANA says, HANA delivered a powerful solution here. When it says complete data, HANA facilitates not only OLTP processing, it also facilitates reporting on top of your OLTP systems. Reporting on top of your OLTP systems. Getting me? So millions and millions of records or billions of records can be analyzed the moment you place your data on top of your HANA. Now as of now we are not sure what exactly HANA. We'll try to understand it. We are just, before understanding what exactly HANA, we are trying to understand what are the benefits of HANA holds. Are we clear till this point in time? Any questions or concerns? You can unmute yourself or you can ping me in the chat box over there. Shankar, Ankita.
Yeah, it's good.
Perfect.
It's good, Sharat.
Perfect.
No, Sharat. No, I have no questions.
Perfect. Now what is the second container it is talking about? It says close to zero latency. Zero latency means within fraction of seconds or milliseconds or nanoseconds, the data gets executed. Perfect. We'll understand how it will be taken care. Now low TCO we are talking about. Total cost of ownership. TCO means total cost of ownership. So what is the first statement it is giving? Non-descriptive to your existing EDW strategy. Means EDW stands for Enterprise Data Warehousing. So if you are already using some data warehousing solution, okay, now you need not disturb the landscape related to it. Means for example, to make it simple, okay, if you have some idea about these data warehousing systems, you can digest it. Otherwise, it's not required, but just trying to explain as we have one lady who has some idea with respect to BW. Now, if you talk about a data warehousing solution, as we are into SAP and we need to project our tools like, so if I talk about a BW application layer, for this application layer to run, I need to have an underlying database. So what are the traditional databases that we commonly use, either Oracle or DB2 or MySQL, right? Now, what it says is, for example, your BW, you have been implementing, for example, you are the customer, let's say. So you have been implementing SAP HANA, SAP BW system for the last 5-6 years or 10 years, let's say. And for the last 5 years, let's say you have invested some 200 millions in building an analytical solution on top of your data warehousing tool, right? Now, today, the market is running with SAP HANA. The market is really green, and the customers were interested to go with HANA. Maybe we're not sure what exactly it is. So what happens? Okay, so the customer is going to invite one of the guy from SAP and tries to check in all the negotiations and all the other stuff. Discussions will be going on if at all he has a plan to implement HANA. Now, by looking at the solution of the landscape of the customer, SAP is like, okay, you have invested already some 200 millions on top of this particular solution, and you have some 4,000 reports built on top of it. Pretty good. Now, the moment HANA comes into the picture, you have to rebuild all your 4,000 reports. You have to, invest again 200 millions in building this analytical solution with SAP HANA. Now, the moment I give this statement to a customer like you, are you going to, or let me ask you this way, will you be willing to implement SAP HANA? It's something like reinventing a wheel. Okay. Now, if I ask you to reinvest the same amount with the solution what you already hold, are you going to implement a solution like SAP HANA? No way.
No.
Right? Because I don't get approval from the CIO or the top executives, so the budget won't be allocated and I don't get anything out of it, because there is a lot of approval chains needs to be taken care of for this to get implemented. So that too, it's something like reinventing a wheel to me, because no one encourages. So how do I capture the market? I can capture the market only if I say to the customer, no, we can understand your concern. The way HANA works is a bit different. Let's say your BW is running on top of a traditional database. Now what we do is we migrate the data, what you hold in your traditional database, into SAP HANA. Now earlier, whatever the reports you have or the loads what you ever used to take care, now as usual it runs. Only the thing changes is you migrate the data from your traditional database into HANA. Everything runs as is. So by this way, we are not disturbing your existing enterprise data warehousing landscape. Now how exactly the technicalities needs to be taken care, we are going to see that. No worries about it. Okay. So that's one thing. So with this basic idea, let's try to understand what exactly SAP HANA. Hope you don't have any queries. If you have any queries, please ping me over there. I'll be addressing them. Now, if I need to understand what exactly HANA. Now we know whenever I talk about any application layer, okay, let's say I have one application layer over here. Just imagine yourself. Whenever this application layer requests any data, it is going to hit the hard disk where data is present. So this needle pointer used to search this entire data, pulls the data, gets processed by a CPU and pushes to your application layer. And this is what the usual process goes on. But what are the problems we are facing with respect to this particular process is, say, the bottleneck we placed, bottleneck in data transfer. There is some problem with IOs which are present within the system, because of which it is taking hell lot of time to pull the data from the hard disk based traditional databases into my application layer. Now because of these constraints, what SAP HANA says is, or what SAP says is, let's stop using this disk based solution. So instead of placing your data on top of a disk, let's place data on top of a RAM. Let's place data on top of a RAM. So what is a RAM? In memory. It's a memory. So what it says, by placing a change like this, pulling the data or replacing your traditional databases which are with the disk based solutions into HANA, which is something like a memory based platform or a solution. So by transforming like this, what we can say, an extremely faster communication and data transfer is possible. So once you place your data on top of your RAM, from your application layer, now you are going to hit your RAM directly, gets processed by your CPUs and delivers to your application layer. Now that's why if you see anywhere about HANA, HANA is not just a normal database, it is a in-memory database. Means you are storing data on top of a memory. And remember, it is not just a normal database to store the data. Okay. If you see the definition or the abbreviation of HANA, H-A-N-A, I even appreciate if you make a running notes or so, though it is a demo session. You can better understand what exactly it is all about. Okay. Now if you see the definition of the abbreviation of HANA, high performance analytical appliance. High performance analytical appliance means it is not just a database to store the data. It has some more capabilities in it. What kind of capabilities is? Analytical capabilities. So that's where it is different from that of a normal database, apart from its in-memory technology. Now, the moment we hear about in-memory or RAM, we'll be getting again a lot of questions in our mind. So can we store huge amount of data on top of a RAM? You know, all these questions may be running in your mind. I'm just addressing all of them. So first one is, can I store huge amount of data on top of a RAM? Isn't RAM expensive? Now I know when I started learning about computers, the computer tutor has told me that RAM is a temporary storage area and ROM is a permanent storage area. Now if at all I'm going to place my data on top of RAM, what happens if power goes off? How am I going to secure the data? Production data, remember, we are talking about. We even don't dare to think about miscapture of a single record. Now my entire information is being placed on a memory, which is not so certain about. Because we know whenever I need to talk about a database, it should meet the requirement of ACID property, atomic consistency and all the other stuff. Durability is not there over here. How am I going to address, or how am I going to safeguard the customer information? Right. Now, to address your first question, can I store huge amount of data on top of a RAM? Yes. We can store huge amount of data on top of a RAM because hardware systems got, or hardware infrastructure got revolutionized, and it gave me a payment to invest or implement millions of data, or to invest on the hardware system. So the prices were plummeted, so companies can invest and get some results out of it. It was not the case a decade back. Right? First thing. Second one, because of this, I can get a better hardware system and I can load huge amount of data, dump huge volumes of records. Now coming to the volatility of the data. Remember, we have a technique called a persistence layer. So whatever the data you have on top of your RAM, on a timely basis, we pull the data to the underlying hard disk. Again, we are storing the data in the hard disk. But remember, whenever you analyze something, your data should be present on top of RAM itself. Okay. So in the terminology of SAP HANA, we say hot data as well as cold data. So hot data means the data present on top of your RAM, and cold data is something like that is present on top of your hard disk. Following me? So this is what HANA is all about. So HANA is a flexible, multi-purpose, data source agnostic in-memory appliance. So data source agnostic is the one that we should understand about HANA. So here, unlike its solutions of SAP with a NetWeaver architecture and the wings related to it, HANA is pretty different. It not only meant for SAP customers, it even targeted non-SAP customers. That's where the marketing strategy is. They have to generate revenues. How? If they target only SAP customers, it's okay, they can. They have 18,000 plus BW implementations, or 19,000 I can say, across the globe. And ERP, there were more than 75,000 plus implementations running across the globe. No worries, but still they have to generate revenues. How? By targeting non-SAP customers. So that's why whatever the data source might be, if it is licensed with SAP, I can provide a solution via HANA to them and give you some and help you with your analytics. That's what HANA says. Now in what way? Now we talked about HANA. So now the question arises is it HANA is a software or a hardware? Because I've been in the industry for the decade or so, but I never came across a solution like this. So we are pretty strong at the software side, we say. But no matter, if a user requests some data to me, I will not be in a position to provide a result set with a better analytics. Right or no? So the moment he requests for a huge amount of data or multiple columns, I say it's not possible. Yes. But to the contrast of it, what is the statement we give to the users? Data is available in the system. Whatever you want, I'll provide it to you. The moment he requests some logics and the data related to it, I'll say, boss, this system will die if I pull out such a huge volume of records. I can provide it to you, but it will take a hell lot of time for you to analyze. If we are pretty strong at software side, these problems should not come up. But we have those problems. But how we are filling that gap, or how we are providing a solution at that point in time, is by filling the gap between hardware and software. So HANA is something like a bridge between the hardware and software. So without a combination of hardware and software, you cannot imagine HANA. So both are dependent. So software you get it from SAP, and hardware you get it from any of the hardware vendors. Okay, like you have Intel, you have Dell, you have IBM, Fujitsu, HP. Okay, so it all depends upon how you go with the negotiations with those vendors, hardware as well as software, and it depends, and it gives you a result set of how exactly your final quote is going to be. That I cannot comment. Okay, but definitely I can say, if you are planning to implement a solution with a traditional DB, let's say if it costs 1 rupee, HANA is going to cost you 3 rupees at this point in time. Earlier, 1.5 years back, it used to be 4. Previous to that, it used to be 5. But as I say, the hardware pricings are plummeted. So the prices are getting lower. So many customers still they are waiting. Okay, now it is 35 or 3.5. Let it come to 3. Let it come to 2. Okay. Well, how is it happening? What are the advantages from the system point of view? What are the things it is providing? Yes, from the hardware front, it provides a multi-core architecture. Remember, having 1 GB data throughput, multiple cores, they run data parallelly and provide a result set. Wonderful concept. Whereas from the software side, I have a feasibility of placing both row as well as column store data. I have a feasibility of compressing the data, and I have a concept of partitioning the data. So billions of records if I just slice and dice the data and place across multiple cores to process it. And as I say, HANA can handle millions of records. I don't require any aggregate tables. No duplication is required in this case. So that's what from the technology point of view of both hardware as well as software, HANA delivers. Now this particular slide gives you an overall picture of what exactly HANA is doing internally, or how it is salting the pain what we have at present. Now whatever the analytics you talk about, maybe an ABAP reporting or some reporting layer, whatever you talk, but that doesn't mean that when I'm comparing it with reporting, it doesn't show or reflect anything about HANA is a reporting concept. It is a database, remember. Now what we do usually in the previous days, we used to maintain database as only to store data, and whenever and whatever the logics that are requested, I used to do at the application layer. So if I need to calculate some 10 calculations, what I used to do, I used to pull the data from the database to my application layer, do all the calculations over here and provide it my analytical purposes. So in this case, the traffic between the application layer and the database layer will be very high. When there is a heavy traffic, the movement of the data between application layer and the database will be too slow, because of which we used to find hell a lot of time in executing a report. Maybe you talk about your BEX report or you talk about your ABAP report. Everything falls into the same problem. Now with HANA, what we are saying, push all your calculations to the database. So HANA is not just meant for storing purposes, it has analytical capabilities. So push data to the DB layer, do all the calculations, the final result set, push it to your application layer. So by this way, instead of transferring some 1,000 records and doing some calculations on top of it, we are doing the 10 calculations at the DB layer and providing only limited set of records to my application layer. So the traffic is less, the data transfer will be faster. Not only that, we are saying we are placing all the data on top of a RAM, which is closer to your CPU. You don't have any intermediary layer between your RAM and the CPU. Directly it can push up, pull, process and deliver it to your application layer. Getting me or no? Any questions please? Ankita? Shankar? Any questions till this point in time?
No, Sharath, I do not have any question.
Shankar?
No, no, Sharath, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Now coming to the architecture part of it. So what exactly architecture is talking about? See, before I say about deliver something about architecture, let me give you a bold statement what I deliver to the students who reach out to me. During the completion of this particular container of information, I promise people stating that I give you 1.5 years of experience related to HANA. Okay. So when I say 1.5 years of experience, I should let you know the architectural flow, define, design of a particular solution of HANA. Okay. So it means, as I say, HANA is a solution that is changing or getting enhanced with a lot of functionalities day by day. So in that case, whatever the solutions that we have over the last 1 year or more than that in the market, and what kind of solutions that are going to come down the line, what kind of landscapes that is delivering, these things should be addressed. So we are going to see even that also. Because in your profile you can project that I did this and I know this. So you'll be given a more weightage in this case, right? Opportunity wise. So that is what the architecture is talking about. Wherever the data might be, it can be an ERP suite or a BW or some third-party systems. Wherever the data might be, I load the data into HANA database via different replication methodologies. So once I get the data into HANA, I do all sort of modelings within it and generate some reporting on top of my HANA database. So here it is showcasing only business objects because it's a product of reporting tool of SAP. You can have a Java reporting. Okay. You can have O data services, O objects and all you can create, and you can expose the data or the web. Generic. It's not restricted. Along with the licenses, you get this business objects tool. Okay. Now what we have till today? Solutions. Wherever the data might be, we used to load data into BW and expose some BEX reports to the users. A data warehousing, as I was talking about. But now once HANA came into the picture, what kind of solutions we started delivering? Wherever the data might be, load it into HANA and expose into via business objects to the users. Let me tell you why business objects is being provided as one of the containers in your licenses is non-SAP customers got attracted with this tool like hell. Okay. In the initial days, non-SAP customers, by looking at the charts, graphs, blah 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 stuff with a colorful representation of the data, there were more implementations with the non-SAP than SAP customers. Initial stages, okay. So somewhere in 2012 I can say. Now what is the big vision of HANA is? Whatever the application layer you talk about, everything has to run on top of HANA database. Why? Because whatever the revenues that SAP get, more than 50% or close to 50% of it needs to be provided to Oracle or DB2 or whatever it is. They're losing their revenues there. So in order to see that what exactly happening, why do I need to provide my data to the other folks or revenues to the other folks? So let my solutions run on top of my HANA database or my own database, or I can deliver whatever the stuff I need to take care. So this is what it is. How the suite on HANA or BW on HANA systems run in the market is what we should know. When these are the current things that are happening. Okay, we'll understand both of them. How exactly you have to project and how exactly you have to take care is what I will be letting you know. Now this is what the demo of SAP HANA. Now I tell you what is the strategy I'll be following in taking through my entire sessions and what made me successful. When I say made me successful in the sense like in turn as a trainer, my success is always depend upon you. If you are successful, I will be successful, right? So that's where my success is defined as a trainer. So 1.5 years for sure you're going to get. Conditions apply. So what kind of conditions is it? I need your time for the next at least 2 months as an average, let's say, because I have many examples where people cleared their certification soon after completion within a week, 10 days. And there are people who gave their certification within a month. Okay. Why I'm talking about certification in the sense like I get a lot of folks from US, UK and Australia. So major area of us is certification. So this is, you can consider as a certification oriented course. But remember, this is not solely for certification purpose. It's a part and parcel of it. Whatever the deliverables, remember one more time. And recently I haven't noticed it, but this month I guess, yeah, March, mid of March I was in Bhubaneswar for one of the corporates. It's a 6-day workshop. So there, I was on the last day when we had this certification discussion, because those folks want to give their company wants to propose their names for certification. So when we're having this discussion, I address them some of the real-time certification questions. But intentionally, I never say something like this and all. But whatever the deliverables I have, they noticed and told me like, this is what we have discussed, this is what you have delivered to us. And the interpretation how we need to take care for clearing a certification, you will be gone through via the discussion of mine itself. So every day, every statement of mine is very important. And I request people to make a note or have a running notes. Well, so we are going to cover course content like HA100, HA300 and HA350. So 3 course curriculums I'm doing. So earlier I used to take care only 2, but as and when the request or the market, what I can say, requirement got changed, I even included some more extra containers to it. More than this you will be looking into. Let me tell you, these books might be for your certification purpose, for you to get an idea, but apart from this, for you to withstand yourself, there is a different approach we have to follow. So according to me, certification is just a gate pass. But once after clearing your gate pass, because I have many examples where people from non-SAP background got more than 90% of the examination code or certification part. I don't worry about it. So once we get certified, the next strategy what we need to take care is getting an opportunity. So how I can help you? Yes, by having 2 interview level discussions. So the naming convention gets changed when I go to corporates. Interactive discussions I say there. Okay. Now in the online or offline anywhere, you know, I state it as an interview level discussion. So 2 we will be having. So one is after completion of 30% of the course curriculum and the other one after completion of 80% of the course curriculum. Maybe at times it goes after 90% also. So it is the best opportunity for you to understand where exactly you are with my deliverables, and I can understand how I can help you better in making you get succeeded with respect to this. So soon after this, we cleared a certification, we got an opportunity. Now I have to withstand in an opportunity that is provided to me. So for this, I have a proof of concept. Okay. I give you a document, a small mini project kind of thing for 1 week of time also I'll give you. And I request you to complete that and get back to me with a solution. So I should understand what exactly the pain points you have faced and how you defined a solution, what are the steps you took for delivering a solution and all the other stuff. We're going to see what is your thought process. That is where is required in this case. It's not an easy task, let me tell you. 1 month, or I say 1 month of duration, but it extends more than a month, let me tell you. So it's not easy for 1 month or 1 week for a trainer to give you 1.5 years of experience. So here what comes is, you are investing with us. I want your time also at the same time. The moment you give your time, I can bring a change in you. If you don't give your time, I cannot do it. Upfront I tell you. Okay, I don't mind your vendors will feel something bad about it, because they are with me for the last couple of years, some of them. So the only part what I require is your time. I give you, let me tell you, these are containers and all not required. These are a part and parcel of your exposure related to the content. We should understand what exactly it is, what SAP delivered, what I have to understand out of it, and how I can deliver. Okay, it's entirely you in what way going to deliver a solution to the customer. So that's why you will be unique in the market. Okay. So these are all strategically we follow. Let me tell you, Google provides a lot of things to you, but it doesn't provide you structurized things. So here you get a real-time exposure. So initial stages you'll be having a theoretical sessions, let's say not even more than 1 week, 5 days or so. So soon after that you'll be having 80% of your practical things and 20% of a theoretical. You have to understand it, what exactly it is. That's it. That part you have to read it. But remember, I give you intermediately different set of exercises or some containers for you to read and come back to have an interactive discussion. So you have to complete them and come back to me, no matter you have some time or not. Simple funda, I'll tell you, the moment you give more time, I can do better. It's as simple as such. And the interesting part, as people are from India, I have one of the examples of my morning batch where a gentleman got an opportunity. He cleared his interview with respect to HANA. Now he joined me to understand about the real-time exposure related to HANA, how he has to place himself. But that's how the interview level pose with respect to HANA in India especially. If people, maybe he's lucky enough, I don't comment on it, okay. So he got a person who has minimum knowledge, like what is HANA, what it is, blah 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 blah, done. But soon after this 1 month of course, let me state in this way, you'll be way better compared to them. They can clear your certification or interview in a cakewalk. I don't give this bold statement until unless I'm confident enough. Okay. So this is what the strategy I'm following and which made me succeeded or successful with respect to my solution. So on top of this, if you have any questions or concerns, yes, one more question I had prior to this particular session is, do we need to have any other containers to be known better? So I'll tell you, if you know only SQL, to understand about SAP HANA or to play around with respect to HANA, basics of SQL is sufficient for me. I don't want you to be expert in BW or some data services or business objects or whatever. Not required, because market is generic. Market of HANA is generic. You may get an opportunity something related to BW and HANA or ERP and HANA or an enterprise solution of HANA. Can you answer what is the position of yours down the line over the next 1 month? No. That's what it is. Whatever the solution might be, BW or Suite on HANA or Enterprise HANA, the core part of HANA remains the same. If you are pretty strong in this area, it doesn't take more time for you to get expertise in the other layers, because the entire modeling takes care in the HANA layer itself. If you're strong enough, how to expose this over there, you have to learn. That's it. Okay. So that's where your expertise and my logic comes into the picture. So later on, maybe as per the opportunity, we can enhance ourselves with any other tool that comes into the picture. That's a secondary, but for anything to happen or to step in with respect to HANA, first of all, you should have basic idea of SQL. That's enough. So if you talk about an application layer or a reporting layer of a 7th floor, in order to reach a 7th floor, you should start your journey from the ground floor. And you're at the right place to place yourself in the ground floor area itself. HANA is a DB. So from DB layer, you are reaching to the top application layer or reporting layer. Right? End-to-end solution will understand it in this case. Okay, so don't worry about other containers. Whenever I talk about BODS or BO or any other new container that falls into our discussion, I'm going to take some time to explain you what the tool is, why do we need the tool, how we can utilize the tool, all the details related to it. Otherwise, it's going to be something like a Japanese movie, right? You can't utilize it and it's a waste of time for me to invest with you. So we'll understand why it is, what it is, how we can play around with HANA. Then only we'll use it. Don't worry, you leave that part to me. Okay? So this is what I have to explain it to you from the front, and the strategy and the course content and the details and server access. Everything will be provided to you with HANA, BODS, BO, BW, ECC, and integrated system will be provided to you for your practice. So the practice system also is somewhere around 50 GB of space. So no worries. So other than this, if I miss any of the questions that you have in your mind, maybe specific to you, you can ask me. I can answer your questions, please.